we're live. So, yeah,
Yes, we are live. Hello,
now
everybody.
I'm going to do it. Hello, everyone.
Hello, geek. Because you're the only one here.
Right now, I'm the only one here. We should be joined by like others, like soon.
Yes.
For two, because like
Isaiah said he'd be here.
yeah. I just got like tweeted it out, and like so I'm just gonna like not do many tags for like the Tumblr posts, and like I already got the post like ready for like all the Discords. I did want to click on that. Oh, yeah, okay, that didn't pop up anything as well too. I was every time like there's like a something that your cursor's hovering over on like an app or something like that, like Discord or something like that, and you click on it, you're just like, is this going to open up a new browser tab and it's like take me to like a different page that I don't want to be in? So that didn't happen this time, but so now I'm just like busy like tweeting out the thing, so I do that and do social justice. That's a little bit I do. Yeah, so yeah, well, that's last is Envy Badasses. Welcome to another retake. Kirok, how you doing? Hey, how are you doing, John?
I'm doing pretty good. Though I didn't get home until about 5 a.m. last night.
Mm. At
Halloween,
least
bitch.
did you make at least okay-ish money
About
for
400 bucks.
okay, there. Which is like, yeah, sounds like a lot for one day, but it's just like that's probably like the exception to prove the rule that
Oh,
you
yeah.
like don't get.
I don't ordinarily make like 40 bucks an hour like that.
Yeah. It's something similar to like what we mentioned on the CJ's that Patreon hangout about like actors as well too, and how like, oh yeah, if you are in the starring role of a TV show, like that's great, or like in a big role in like a movie that's famous and something like that,
For the
that's great.
most part, actors live in small houses or apartments.
Yeah,
And
it's
if they're
like
just starting out, they have roommates and work another job.
yeah, exactly. The conventions that they'll go on, like any of the old Star Trek actors as well too, or even current Star Trek actors, they do the conventions because like that helps pay. All the like anime voice actors that I know of as well
Mm-hmm.
too. The only way that they can able to like afford rent as it were too is like they do other jobs, they do other voice acting as well too. David Vincent is a bald man, but like he does like a read commercial ads for like Men's Health Club on the radio because you just
That's
have
what
to
you
make
had to
money.
do.
And the conventions is also another part of it too. It's just another like supplemental income as well too. And but like it's I just wish it wasn't the case that like everyone just has to have this hustle and like a side
Mm-hmm.
hustle. And but like that's where we live in under like
It's afternoon,
and
Mithril.
it's shut up. You will say that every time. You will say that every time that Metro's in the correct time zone, that your time zone is the only time zone that matters. Just like a white
He's
guy
just
to believe.
mistaken.
But no, under like an end stage neoliberal capitalism as well, so you're not supposed to have any savings whatsoever. You're not supposed to like be
No.
able to. You're not. No, there's like savings, having a nest egg, like having money like set aside. No, that is terrible because like that's not like going immediately into the economy as well too. And as my company is owned by a financial institution, we have to make like increasing profits every single quarter. Because if we don't, it's like it's not good for like the company that owns us, Goldman Sachs, or a Goldman Sachs like company. I don't know the shell game that well. It's just like, and I don't know how like I think the financial institution that owns us just like looks at the spreadsheets and something like that, and if like line's not going up, then like they'll say something. Does work too. I don't know. It's just like it's always the pressure that like have to like get things shipped out every single like month as well too, and always at the end of the month. At the end of the month, they just like we got to get out. It's the end of the month. They got to get out at the end of the month. It's like why we're paid the same regardless if it's shipped out on the 30th or on the first. So why is this rush? And then it's like when there's like it's always the rush at the last end of the month, and it's always when it's like near the beginning or middle of the month Nothing. It's just like lackadaisical. It's just like, how about we just like reorganize the production time so that like we it's spread out so we're not always like rushing towards the end of the month. But no,
I like
I
the
don't
cut of
know.
your jib, son. Have you considered being management?
Yeah, I doubt that honestly. But yeah,
Oh,
so
that's
like
a
hell,
shame, Mithril.
I have honestly bugger all apart from like a chest like a virus, and not even sure if I have food for my grandson tomorrow. Fucking hell, yeah. Some people even talk about like the end of month sads as well too, or where it's just like they have like no money. They were it's just like live paycheck to paycheck, and at the end of the month, they just like others will join us soon. They were just getting coffee as well too. It's the end of the month, living paycheck to paycheck. So when it's like the end of the month, it's just like if they some people even don't have like food in their apartments at the end of the month or something like that until they get paid. And like I said before, it's just like it's always preferable to bring up this just an example of like someone who it was starving as too, or did not have like any food in his apartment throughout the entire week. It was on Tuesday. They mentioned this. He hate asking people for money because like family situation of like it's like I forgot how that's just like how he is or just how his family is. It's like they don't ask others for help. That's just like how they are. Or I don't he didn't say this, but I'm not sure if like it's kind of like you are a weak person for asking for help, but there's but like that collective shame of like asking for help is just like so endemic of like our society and just like I just wish I can like fix it, but like I wish I could just fix society. So it's just like, absolutely better than it is right now, where it's like we all can like be able to just like afford our luxuries of like whatever the luxuries are is as well too. Not just like a frozen pizza because that's food. Or like but like a luxury like V-Bucks for like Fortnite skins or an extra video or the new video game that just came out and that sort of thing, or more books or more comic books, or be able to splurge or finally go to a game or like or a musical or something like that. I don't know. Just rambling right now. Because who here has money and no silence? uh oh, okay. I see. You just like step away. You figured out like I was going to go on my like anti-capitalist like rant for like much longer. I get it. No problem. No problem. I should be a professional and know like when to like fill time and something like that. So yeah. What what are the things that happen in the world? Oh, there's a bunch of terrible stuff that's happening in the world. But honestly, I got a couple of articles of like some interesting like video game stuff. Like this is a weird thing as well too, but like not surprised with the video game industry as well too. Is yeah, there's hello McDonald, how you doing? Horizon Zero Dawn's price change that signals that why consoles are pushing for no disc as well too. And it's like, but here's the interesting thing about like Horizon, this like the prices of these games of Horizon Zero Dawn as well too. Um, seeing the comments in our like our messaging chat, it's just like funny. You're distracting me though. Hey, Jordan P apparently starting in like October 1st, Horizon Zero Dawn as part of a special promotion from Sony for whoever owns so the Horizon Zero Dawn for PlayStation 5 and PC are going to be like $50. And but if you already own the game, you just have to pay $10 for the upgrade to access remaster. Okay, so the remastered of Horizon Zero Dawn. Um but I think the thing is just like people who have it on like a PS4, the game was already just like a $10 and $20, and then it suddenly is now going to jump. They're like the digital version of the game is going to jump to like $40 or something like that. But $50 you get the remastered edition. So like if you don't have the original, is that's what is going on? Is what the hello? We're joined by like a hippie now, but hashtag not all hippies. Checking the audio, make sure everything's connected, and like also like the Zoom's using the right microphone as well too. Uh, oftentimes when
Hold
people
on a second. You're breaking up.
Oh, no, that's probably your connection as well too.
On a
Uh,
second, you're breaking up.
okay.
Oh,
Um, there's a fuss going on in the UK media about like what are working people, because it looks like Starmer might tax unearned income at the same level as earned. So many like ringing like landlords are appealing. Yeah,
I can. You can. What the hell?
yeah,
Said
internet
my
connect.
bandwidth is low, but it's not. And I okay.
Technology is lovely.
Maybe try logging out and logging
Where the
back
hell
in.
is this? Yeah, I can try that.
I mean, you sound
I'm
fine to
going
me,
to
but
tengo la puerta pinche ma.
mostly it's your
Okay.
video. Well, obviously, I'm back.
Uh, yeah, obviously you're back. Yes. I'm rereading this like article.
So Keir Starmer is a communist now.
Mhm. And Isaiah Taylor's apparently standing by. I don't know why. He's just like
You can just hop
Isaiah
on
Taylor
in, brother.
just hop on in. It's all this is not like Streamlabs where it's like the like host of the call has to like approve people to be on. Which is I like that as a feature because like you don't in case like the someone accidentally send the link out to like the public and as well too.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. Yeah, so I think well, one of the things that outrageous about like this Sony doing the Horizon Zero Dawn thing is that they're also kind of like removing the regular edition from like stores as well too. So that the only way you can like get to Horizon Zero Dawn is to get the remastered edition as well too. So even if you somehow did not get the Horizon Zero Dawn, you are going to have to like get the 50 pay $50 for the remastered edition, and and uh. and also if it yeah it's just like and it's part of this kind of like a whole push of like the like consoles like going like a no physical disc and digital only, which I kind of like noticed as well too. I think I just bought a copy of like I forgot it was like online or at a GameStop, but like Mass Effect Andromeda, which is like not the most recent Mass Effect game, but sort of like the most recent new Mass Effect game. And it was even though it was like it came in like the DVD case as well too. It was just like a card with like the code for me to download it from. As I had to install Origin on my thing because EA, even though like now EA is just like it stopped their thing and have now a lot of some the products of EA are on like the Steam and Epic Game Store, which is interesting to me. Uh, and also like some of the consoles now are diskless, which like is disappointing to me because like a physical media, man, that's really bad. I'm having to watch this in like a 144p. You two look like very pixelated. Well, John Brockman's a cap right now, so of course he's
So that'll be
pixelated. But
pretty okay.
yes, you're not missing much with John Brockman being a cat. He just like shows the avatar that's
Just
like,
pretend I'm
oh.
Bubsy.
In case anyone knows what that is. But this, but the situation with Horizon Dawn kind of correlates with like what like this Gizmo article is just like they mentioned how the Fed said like no, you can not like rent out or like or use the library to like play games anymore. It's it's that we're it so the Fed said you don't have the right to check out retro game video games like library books, and it's again whereas like even if like the game's like over 50 years old as well too, and there's no way for you to like download it legally or pay for it in like other places as well too, it's still kind of like against the law to digitally preserve it as well too, except for like your own like collection, but even that you cannot like share that with like others. um and so it's just like more and more of the video game industry as well, like the copyrights and stuff like that. Snagglepuss. I think I remember that. It's more and more ways where the video game industry is just like making it so that like no, you just kind of can't buy things. And also the weird thing with the video game industry as well too, or some companies how they just like don't want like older old games to be like available online. Just want that, or mostly Nintendo being weird and like drip feeding older classic like titles on like a virtual console. Haven't followed up on like what's on available on virtual console or not anymore. So I remember it took a real ass long time for Earthbound to get on there. But yeah, that even then, it's just like not everything is like on there, and it's just like why don't you just like make it so that everything's available as well too? And also, honestly, I think people would love like a subscription based service for Nintendo or other like games where it's just like, okay, I get it. I don't actually own these. I have to pay this monthly subscription to be able to like have access to those things. But that's what I would like. And yeah, Game Pass does that now, but it's like you have like a limited time for like the games to be on there, and while the games are on Game Pass, be able to play them as well too. So you take a chance like now, but that's consumers do like that as well too because like they can try it out of the game if they already have a subscription for something, and that they may have not like wanted to like play to begin with. But still, I think like I really wish we can just like get over this copyright bullshit and well just get rid of copyright period as well too and be able to like preserve these like games as well too. Because like even though it's like you can argue about like how commercial some of these like games are or something like that. No, some of these games are art. So like for the ones who want to preserve, and not necessarily want to preserve every single one of them, but for the ones we do want to preserve as well too. Or Kristen, I think it is like we should be able to have a way to preserve them digitally or otherwise. But like the video game industry wants to just like
No, they
hold on
want
to
you to keep buying it over and over and over again.
true. There are some games I have like been like, oh, it's an awesome game. I want to buy it. I have like rebought some games because it's just like it's easier for me to like play it off of Steam as opposed to like, go over to the room. Why is why is Isaiah having trouble like getting in? Uh no, that's my participant ID. Here's a meeting ID. Okay. Let me keep that open. Uh, and
All right.
like
I'll get
It
him a
keeps
new
telling
link.
me my internet connection is unstable, but it's my fucking Wi-Fi. God, this is
mhm.
pissing me the fuck off. Because it's gonna
Yeah,
do the same thing on the show.
yeah. Technology.
I see
Eh,
you, your sound's coming through fine, but I see you roboting.
mm. Hello, city. Yes, you do exist, and you're cute.
Hey,
Um,
Lucy.
Speaking of games, explain to me why is a Super Nintendo with like Super Mario? Oh, for some reason I have to like show that. That's weird. That like YouTube had to hide that for a second when they wait for for they Kirok, why is that old like a comic book like a super old then? Wow, why can't like Isaiah
Yeah,
just get in? So many problems on this one.
it's using, less than 30% of my CPU and my memory.
Weird.
This is wild. There
Well,
we
I mean, you guys
go.
can keep talking. I
Yeah,
can hear you, and you
yeah,
can hear me. So
yeah. For some reason they wanted I couldn't just click the link to just join. They wanted me to put in the passcode and the password. So I don't know what that was all about.
That is the first that's ever happened. Um, I
Yeah,
didn't
and
do anything for that.
yeah, I mean I think I have the app still on my phone. I don't know why it asked me for the passcode.
Mhm.
I didn't even know where to find the passcode.
I had to.
Mm,
Okay, you do you see the like the green shield with the check mark?
Ah, I see.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
click on it, it has the
Okay,
over
I don't
for.
want to want to keep that open for too long.
Yeah.
All right.
It's so how is
So,
everyone
who got
doing?
slutty for Halloween?
Halloween hasn't happened yet.
Saturday was the last day to party before Halloween.
I'm thinking about next year. I'm thinking about wearing one of those Christmas tutus from Mean Girls. I'm thinking about doing that.
I still have not seen Mean Girls, honestly.
I'm gonna shut
Neither
my
have I.
video off apparently and see
Yeah.
if that does anything. So
Yep.
give me a second here.
Video sucks up a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah.
It is. Unfortunately, Owen, I wish I could fix the internet than your end. Is it kind of sucks that you're getting half the sentence as well too. But don't worry, it is on YouTube as well too. So the video playback will be available to all who can't be able to watch it live.
You're still roboting. Your voice is coming through fine, but your video is still so is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, well, at least you can hear me. So it's hello everyone, welcome.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Dr. Nick.
I just spent 5 hours pulling dumpsters, 100-pound dumpsters, and digging through trash.
That's standard day for you.
I thought you first said gluing dumpsters. I was like, what?
Yeah, gluing the dumpsters shut so that gluing the dumpsters shut so that poor people cannot get in and see all the food.
Yeah. Although funny enough,
I have it processing it too. So
what?
Unlike the jackasses down in somewhere on the coast, so I'm fairly sure it was Mississippi. To prevent poor people from getting in and doing that, poured bleach into the dumpsters.
Yep. They also put chain link fences topped with barbed wire around them.
Or security guards as well too.
We'd rather people starve even when we're not making profit.
Yes.
Right.
Although funny enough, I did find someone threw away sprinkles. And not only one can, but two. So they threw away two cans of sprinkles.
Check the expiration date.
I'm gonna rewrite a country song.
Yeah. Well, they expire.
Redneck something. Up against the wall, you fascist fuckers.
Yeah. they expire August 15th, 2027.
So 2027, so it's just that's not I guess someone just wanted to throw away sprinkles as well too, or bought too many. I don't know why people
most of the kids here are rich anyways. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, there you go. So
and they also threw away some candles.
But
I'm also wondering if it ever happened. If there could be a lot of people on the net, and I have all I can afford. I have the lowest level of internet, so
yeah.
But it's 300 megs, and it's download, and it's 14. And it's normally fine. Been fine.
Yeah.
It's been fine. Under my shows and whatever else. So maybe it doesn't like Zoom. I don't know.
Maybe that is some things are probably more labor intensive than others, or resource intensive as well too.
Anyway, she's a bitch, so
yeah.
Well, anyway. You've seen my show before, and I know Isaiah has, and I think John has. I'm not sure. I did over 270 shows, and every single one, without fail, I had technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Yes.
One of them was doing an interview on Google Meet. Everything was perfect. Sound's working, video's working, fine, cool, dandy. We're connected, we're talking. 30 seconds before I went on the air, my internet went out for 45 minutes.
Yeah. I had to have
thoroughly
it doesn't do this anymore for me now, but Comcast would just regularly I would just lose internet and I have no way to gain it. I was about to go live to start streaming as well too, but the internet went out. But so a couple times it's okay, the internet's out.
Well, I have a way to I have an app called PDA Net Plus. I love it. I was using it before I got cable turned back on. It is well, I have a really good phone, which has a lot to do with it as well.
Mhm.
See, Z Flip 5, but with PDA Net Plus, it's $15 one-time purchase. That's it.
Mhm.
And when it does the hotspot, it's not counted on data at all.
That's nice.
So, I mean, depending upon the phone, but for most phones, it doesn't count your data.
Yeah.
And I was playing online games, MMORPGs through my phone.
Nice.
Nice.
You know, of course, it's a HP Pavilion gaming computer. I got 32 gigs of RAM and a 1660 Ti video card. So,
Nice.
you know, that was your video's a little better.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, like my phone data as well too, it's just like it is unlimited, but of course, like once you hit like a certain like amount, like 50 gigs for me as well too, then it's just like okay, you hit 50 gigs, you'll still have unlimited data, but like we are slowing your speeds as well too.
Choke it.
Yeah, exactly, and it's like, but that always happens like on the 5th day of the month, without fail. It's always the 5th day. Just watching Twitch
And I
stream.
didn't even think about it. That might be what's happening with me.
Yeah. Listening to
That was
podcasts.
Lucas.
What?
Lucas. Okay, this is part of my show. No, I'm showing it to you as my camera turned up. Okay. This
And
is part
also
of
with
my
your
show.
background blurred.
Lucas. I don't know if you.
Yes, we can see him.
Can you see him?
Spider
Yes.
guy.
There is a cartoon called Lucas the Spider, and it had like a couple of episodes, and people, including adults, went crazy over it, especially kids. And so there's seasons of it. But the reason I called him Lucas, other than that, is if you turn the button on, when you talk, he moves.
Oh, nice.
And so I have a clip of him in my showrunner running across the desktop.
That'd be a
Because I'm
good
amused
for.
by, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That'd be good for like just a be right back screen. Just have like that little Lucas just like cuddling around. Adorable.
I wonder if there's other ones too.
Mhm.
Because it's voice activated. And the louder you
Nice.
talk, the faster he moves.
Nice.
That'd be fun to get a duck
Yeah.
or whatever else, you know.
Yeah, Isaiah, you have your hand up. Or Google Pixel 6a.
Yeah, I'm still struggling to put video filters on this thing. Maybe it's just the phone. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, so did you guys hear what Taylor Swift did?
Now,
No.
Did she do cocaine in a bathroom?
No, this is actually worse.
Oh shit.
So in New Orleans, she had one of her Eras tours in New Orleans, and there was like members of like the New Orleans city government basically decided to kick all the homeless people out around the stadium, the
Oh,
Superdome. Where look it up. It's all on the internet, and it basically
did
like
she ask them to do that, or was that just them?
that was them. No, that was them. That wasn't her.
Okay.
right. Yeah, I didn't think it was her. If nothing else, it would be a shitty PR move. I didn't think it was her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that doesn't surprise me where city governments and like again the Olympics or even like World Cup, it's always been like used as a weapon for the city governments and local governments to agenda.
Well, that harkens me also back to Katrina.
Yeah.
Jordan Klepper, one of my favorite clips of him is where he's interviewing this guy, and he's like, well, you know, because this guy's, you know, ranting about Obama, and he's like, you know, well, that's no, I got a good question for you. Where was Obama during 9/11? The guy goes, well, I kind of he was. But anyway,
you put out there, but it sounds like
taken,
he was probably a professor in Chicago at the time.
They've taken a bunch of people from where it was hit in Louisiana the most. Okay, it's not Louisiana, it's Louisiana. And put them in stadium in Texas. And George Bush Sr.'s wife, Barbara, came in and basically that they were all better off now. I got words, but I don't know if you want them said on your channel, so I won't say them.
We're not monetized.
Fair game.
We're not monetized. Fair game, and also comments have been turned off too. So the only comments that you can have on the show is in the live chat. Okay. So go nuts.
So she's nothing but a fucking cunt.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. It's because that's a very let them have cake. Yeah, exactly.
I can't.
Yeah. Who are we talking
usually
about?
I reserve the word for cunts. Okay, not every asshole is a cunt.
Exactly.
I think Ron DeSantis is one.
And did you know? Good news for the day. Did you know that Pat Robertson and Rush Limbaugh are still dead?
Yes, they are still dead.
I'm still waiting for Billy Graham to bite it. That's what I'm waiting for.
Give it time.
I mean Franklin Graham. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I was about to say Billy Graham was working in the 30s.
Well, and also, I mean, they're Pinky in the Brain. There's audio of him talking to Nixon, because some of the tapes that they had talking to Nixon and a whole bunch of anti-Semitic shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's surprised.
Because the funny Christians, the only thing they care about Israel is that it exists so that their death cult will come and Armageddon will come. Otherwise,
basically. Yeah, it's essentially like stuff Charles Manson would say. It's the same stuff but different. Hey, do you guys notice something?
You were earlier talking about a costume or something for next year, Isaiah. Are you doing anything this year?
I'm just gonna do a basic Star Trek TOS red shirt. I have a red shirt, so I'm just gonna do that.
Are you going
have any? Go ahead.
I do. Are you going to put some laser blasts on there as being a red shirt? You're going to be the first one to die.
I might. I don't know.
I'm sorry, buddy. He's a black man. So he's already.
Yep.
Unless you're
giving double jeopardy.
Do you guys notice something with my head with this light in the background? Notice how it does it's like the sun.
Yes.
Cool.
It's like
that's kind of a cool picture.
Yeah, that is cool.
Are you recording this?
Just streaming.
Yeah, just streaming. So it gets
it'll stay on the channel.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I'll clip that then for you, Isaiah.
You should.
And I can do all sorts of video. So, well, you've seen I did it's a still image, not a video, but I did a video. Slow down. Still image of him in his Star Trek uniform with a tricorder, and then I put Starfield and the Star. Voyager, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think it was.
Anyway, in the background, so he liked it, so that was cool.
Yeah, I really like your work, Aaron. You're amazing. So yeah, life, but other than that, things are good. I'm surviving. I guess we're all kind of just we are all on this. It's like we got this election coming up, and it's like it's almost like we're kind of just fixing to just fall. We're just on our way into the black hole. I guess we're just going around and around and around and around until we go in.
The thing that sucks and pisses me off about the Democrats, aside from the whole vote blue no matter who thing, I'm so tired of that shit.
The same here.
Is that I feel, and I feel like I'm forced to vote for Harris.
Yeah.
Because
she's
usually
a bad choice, but she's
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember when Clinton was elected. And I remember when Bush Jr. was elected. Okay. And both times, and then with Clinton, people are like, I'm going to move to Canada or whatever. Okay. It's a completely different story. But it's not necessarily great. Dick Cheney, one of the most evil people in the world.
Yep.
And
we're waiting for him to die.
Liz Cheney, who is just as bad, endorsed Harris.
Yeah.
I call her Top Harris.
Yeah, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Yeah,
well, it's like, What did you guys think of like Beyonce and Well, first of all, like, what did you guys think of the DNC with all the celebrities and then Beyonce with what she did? What do you guys think about that?
I'm not sure what you're referring to by
DNC, Democratic National Convention.
them doing whatever. It's political theater anyway. It's why I don't watch rallies.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just thinking like if you're a working class person and there's like celebrities like turn it up for it's like okay, I gotta go to work the next day. I don't. Yeah, it's just cringe. It was just like it's just cringe. It's like they had what was that? Who's that? Little John? I don't know. I don't keep up with that rap shit. And then Harris was like.
John.
Yeah, and then Harris was like, we're gonna have the strongest military. It's like we went from Little John to having the most lethal military ever. I don't see the connection here. Except America is cool because we have rappers that sing songs that are like 20 years old, I guess.
Right. Well, you got red MAGA and blue MAGA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But y'all would. The amount of people, I'm just pulling a number, probably 80%, who, when I talk about Trump, at least initially before they know me at all, if they stay around long enough, when I bash Trump, and I do every chance I get, you liberals and you Democrats, I'm like, whoa, I am neither.
Yeah.
And if I say when I tell them I'm a socialist, they're like, oh well, so Democrats are socialistic. You need to go to the dictionary. You need to look up definitions.
Not actively wanting people to die isn't the same thing as wanting to save them.
Yeah,
I had a friend of mine, like a white liberal, quote unquote, friend of mine, that said that she thought Bernie Sanders was an extremist.
It's again, I have
you broke up a little bit.
He said that I had a friend, a liberal friend that or a white friend that's like he thought that Bernie Sanders was an extremist, and it's just like if Bernie Sanders' policy is extreme to you, then it's just like so. I had a coworker.
Well, to be fair, she's like one of those like I would vote for Obama for the third time because Trump is just so bad. She didn't say that, but she kind of gave off that vibe. She was also like one of those people that basically wanted like a black, like she wanted a magic Negro kind of a person, and I wasn't with that at all. I'm like, hey, I'm my own person. I have my own belief. Like, no, we're not going to do that here. And I guess we stopped talking to each other. And when I told her when I came out as an atheist, she really stopped talking to me after that. So,
you horrible atheist, you. I want your baby recipes, by the way.
Yeah. If only I could just.
Do you prefer roasted or barbecued?
I prefer a good dry rub.
Slow cook.
I prefer rotisserie.
People's minds when I do when I tell them that I'm religious, and I am, and they say, "Oh, you believe in God?" What is usually the first reaction? And then I tell them I'm a Celtic. I'm a Celtic pagan, and I'm an atheist, and they're like, "What?" Because first of all atheism is, and y'all have heard this bajillion times before, is somebody who lacks belief in a deity. It's not the same thing as believing no God exists. Blah 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 blah.
Although David Silverman is a dick.
Oh, David Silverman is a dick. Yes, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even though I still love the look on his face when he was on Bill O'Reilly, and Bill O'Reilly said, "Tides go in, tides go out. You can't explain that." And he was just like,
"Well, it's like the insane clown posse. Magnets, how did they work? I don't want to talk to a scientist. Motherfuckers lying and get me pissed."
Part of see, they always talk about Dunning-Kruger, but it's not just, and that's a lot of what it is. Okay, but it's not just anger when somebody says, or when they think somebody says or implies, "I'm smart."
Yeah,
so it's not just because I've been wrong before. To quote Lucy Van Pelt, I remember when I was wrong. It was October 1967. But I've been most famously when I was talking to Lawrence Krauss on Facebook before he turned out to be a huge fucking dick,
Yeah.
just like David Silverman, exactly like David Silverman. And I mentioned the fact that everybody thinks, well, a majority of people think that UTIs. No, I'm not saying it's bad. You know, it's got vitamins in it and whatever else, but it's no better than water. It's no better than apple juice. But it's because of that, I guess, astringent. Yeah, scours. Yeah, no.
Well, I can pretty much like
Also,
tell you. No, I was saying I can pretty.
Y'all gonna interrupt?
Go ahead, Isaiah.
No, I was gonna say like I can basically like explain how I became an atheist. It was like 2015, like so I was brought up in the church, even though I didn't really believe in it really
Same here.
in my heart, but we were forced to go anyway. And you know, like I played along with it. I would like when I moved back to Tallahassee and I was on my own, I still went to church. I would even walk to church. That's how much I guess I wanted to believe. And it was like 2015. It was like June of 2015, and like I remember like two events that happened like in the month of June 2015. We had that mass shooting in Charleston at the church where 9 Black people were murdered in a church by white supremacists.
Yeah.
And then when I went to church that Sunday, it was the pastor basically was just like basically harped about, oh, there's the US passed gay marriage. It's so horrible. And it's like he didn't even mention the fact that 9 people were murdered in a church. He didn't even mention it. He was so bothered by the White House being lit up in the rainbow flag. And I was like, I can't do this shit anymore.
Wow, this is a good way to find out if like this is someone that you can like hang out with at all. If there's some like see a rainbow flag and it's like, oh no, the gay. It's just like, okay, that's a person I don't need to hang out with, and this is being good repellent against those people. Rainbow pride power, bitches.
Which is so funny because he's like he was trying to be like a spiffy college pastor, like he had a wife who was Puerto Rican, which is kind of ironic. He never mentioned about gay marriage because I'm sure there were Christians who were against you marrying your Puerto Rican wife back in the day too, but like. He would always call his wife Puerto Rican babe. Like, that's my Puerto Rican babe right there. She didn't have a name. She was just Puerto Rican babe. Right. There's some weird fetish, some Latina fetishing sizing going on.
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yep.
I was indoctrinated into the church. I believe 100%. I believe for the first 32 years of my life. Pentecostal, Assembly of God, evangelical, rock record burning, and we literally had a bonfire in the 70s and burned rock albums. Jack Chick track passing, on the hands, oil anointing, dancing in the aisles, racist, misogynistic, queerphobic, and of course self-loathing. Asshole. Yeah. Flat out asshole. And what saved my life and my sanity was I've always known I was trans. Always.
Yeah. There was also like go ahead,
Aaron. A lot
Aaron.
of abuse, both mental and because of that. And so when I admitted, these people have been telling me for 32 years ish that people like me were evil, people like me were destined to go to hell. Yeah. And when I finally, realized and admitted to myself not only who I was, but that they were wrong about, I was like, well, what else are they wrong about? And that's when all those walls started breaking down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also remember like we would do like me and that church would sometimes do like other like groups, like community stuff groups, and like I went to this like suburban like family, and they would go to Hollywood to pray to in Hollywood sinfulness. They called Miley Cyrus demonic because she did her. Remember when she was like sticking her tongue out, and it was
She had her wild child face.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and apparently, but here's
Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yep. But here's the weird thing about Christians who go to Hollywood to pray about Hollywood's sin. I bet $1 million they wouldn't do that if American Sniper was there or Zero Dark 30 or none of these other movies.
Mhm.
Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed that? It's only when it's like, certain groups of people. But if it's a Hollywood movie that's like, I don't know, America F yeah, they won't pray about that, but they'll pray about Miley Cyrus sticking her tongue out.
Well,
And part of me,
look at all the people who are against abortion, who are supposedly pro-choice.
Mhm.
Look at the numbers for color that are 5 years or older.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's like we're pro-choice, but also you got to remember the thing about being it's not really about being pro-choice. It's just they just want like they want material, they want fodder for like all their little stuff they got they need more people for the military, the meat grinder, the prison system, like it's an endless supply of raw numbers that they can just exploit. They can add in, take out, and just forget about. It's not really about pro-life. It's just, we need more. We
Yeah,
need
it's
more.
not pro-life, it's pro-forced birth.
Yeah.
Right.
Bro.
It's pro-white birth.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need more. We need asses
George
and
Carlin
comments.
said it famously. I don't agree with everything he said. I don't agree with everything he. The last special was basically just an old man yelling at clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he said, if you're pro, how did he say it?
If you're pre-born, you're fine.
You're fine.
If you're preschool, you're fucked. Yep. But the fact is, anti-abortion is just a way to force white women to have children because it's just part of eugenics.
Right.
The other side of it is forced sterilization.
Have you guys watched George Carlin's bit about abortion? You guys have seen that one?
She was just talking about that.
Oh yeah, okay.
I watched every one of his specials.
Yeah, George Carlin, like I like him, but sometimes his misandry can sometimes get on my nerves. Like all humans are stupid. I'm like,
Yeah. Just remember, people like everyone is like are complex. It's like there are like pros and cons to all of them, which is why just don't put anyone on a pedestal. Kill your heroes, or the only good heroes to sandwich.
Yep.
Although
I don't hold celebrities up as a role model in any way.
Yeah. And also they're just like regular people. That was kind of mentioned on like the Sheepside Painter and Hangout. Just like because like the one of the patrons lesson learned and ran into like Jimmy Smith. He's just like up against the wall. He was in Puerto Rico and like because that's where he's from at a mall. And he's like smells and looks up. And he's like, oh, and that's Jimmy Smith as well. But Jimmy Smith looks at it, it's like, hey, yeah, I know you. Yeah, I know who I am. But I'm just here to relax. So it's like. Just don't bother me. Hey,
I
just
have a huge
look.
crush on Keanu Reeves, though, so don't.
I mean, everyone has a lot of people have a huge crush on Keanu Reeves. Just look at that man. And from what I can tell,
Speed, especially that.
It's so weird that like he is like Bill. Boy, no, he wasn't Bill. He was Ted. And then but then he also like went to become John Wick as well too.
John Wick is what would have happened if Ted had gone to military school.
Yeah. Did you guys review like the latest Bill Maher? Bill Maher has now become like your racist uncle. Have you guys noticed that?
Oh,
he was always that.
Yeah. Well,
he's
now
been that for a while.
Like, yeah,
I mean, he was in his 40s dating Sarah Cara Santa Maria in her 20s. He's always been an asshole.
Well, but like I saw like a Hassani B like video about him, and Bill Maher like literally thinks that black folks are criminals. He's like, I wish Democrats would stop with the whole thinking crime is. It's like, in what universe did?
I mean, Hillary Clinton said like super predators back in like 92, 96 or something like that. Yep. And it's like, that's.
I had a passenger a while back. He's like, hey, well, so what do you think about Greenville? And I said, it's a nice little city. It's like, little? How many people does it have? 400,000? Green Bay only has 100,000. And we don't have any crime because there are no black people.
Right. I did a speech in college or two ago. And what I decided to pick, because the instructor said that we had to pick a controversial topic. So what I decided to do was look up, and this was in 2000. The study was done in 2006. What's the worst America?
What's the worst what?
And at that time, the worst city to be black in America. Madison, Wisconsin. Okay. Black people in Madison, Wisconsin made up 5% of the population.
Okay.
55% of the traffic stops.
Yeah.
For a black person convicted of a non-drug related crime, you are 5 times as likely to go to prison. Convicted at the exact same time in the exact same circumstances. If it was a drug related crime, you are 20 times as likely to go to prison.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone's a little bit racist.
So, thanks for letting me come and eat robot for a while.
Hey,
no problem.
Aaron.
Anytime.
You're in the trains, right, Aaron? I saw that thing you sent me.
The what?
Train. You know,
yeah. I'll show you real quick before I go. Trains are, where the hell is my camera? Work, you piece of shit.
I see it. Well, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Yep. This is
nice.
Take the train.
And get back here. Another one of my obsessions, because and this is both.
Ooh, nice. A train clock.
Awesome. That's nice.
I'm gonna be honest.
And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, plus one of those Popo Funk things, 13 plushies sitting on top of my computer.
Tell me how.
All right, I gotta get going.
Later.
So thank you all.
Bye, Aaron.
Bye.
It's gonna probably be about 2 hours. So if you feel like it after this is done, you can pop in.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, all right, peace.
Bye. Peace.
That was go ahead and say it.
I was gonna be honest. I think right when I went to Toys R Us back in like the late '90s, early 2000s, and I saw my first train set. That's how I knew I was probably autistic, because I really wanted to fucking break that.
We mentioned this in the C Shop Patreon hangout as well too, because Steve 4 weeks ago did that Steve and Stuffy, or 2 weeks ago that Steve Stuffy about Legos as well too, and Nick Anderson is like, oh yes, Legos, and Nick Anderson completely agrees that the licenses on Legos, it's kind of taking over Lego a bit, and also how it's the fanboys now that of those properties that's so super obsessed. It's that's not how Han Solo looks like. It's a Lego figure. This is not going to be 100% representation accurate to how Han Solo looks. So quit your whining. But they have accessibility over it. And it's just how about you just it's kind of cool to make a Millennium Falcon out of the Lego pieces you have, but if you don't expect 100% accuracy with a Lego set of the Millennium Falcon as well too, you can just get models. Come on, as well too.
Yeah, you can do that. I do it all the time.
It's their Lego is, instead of making toys for kids, they with the license sets of The Office, or some of the show that kids don't not care about as well too. Why do you want a set of Jim's desk from The Office on your table as well too? Because it's in all the pretense, it's this 40-year-old man child who's says he's buying the Legos for his kids. Well, some of them don't wait for the kids to have the excuse to buy these Lego sets as well too. And it's just and yet we all of us at one point or another make fun of the 80-year-old guy with the train set, the $100,000 train set in his basement as well too. It's just but also that's the joke is that Nick Anderson said, tell me how you're autistic without saying you're autistic. I have a model train set, or I collect model trains.
Yeah, I wonder how many people who work on the railroad are actually autistic. I wonder.
It depends if they choose to work on the railroads, or it's like the railroads was the only good paying jobs that they was available in their region or
Well, they
their area.
choose to. They choose to.
Oh yeah, if they choose to work on the railroads, then like there's a good chance as well too. Because like if they, guess one thing is like this is true for like a lot of people who like do certain things with a for a job as well too. Even some streamers as well too. Do you think like playing video games all day? That's like the dream job as well too. But yeah, when you're forced to do that, you kind of like don't want to you kind of want to get away from it sometimes. And actually, some big streamers did get burned out and kind of like quit or like disappear for a while and like didn't want to like stream as well too. Especially since some of them would have a contracts of like must stream 170 hours like a month, and that's a full time job right there because like that's about like 40 hours like for each week as
Yeah.
well too. Um,
Yeah. Also, you can make millions streaming playing games and then say some of the most racist stuff ever about Palestinians. You could do that too.
Oh yes, that's what's Ozma the God who like he's always was the dick anyway. Even in gaming spaces, he was like unfortunately one of those like big elitist kind of like gamers who said this is the only correct way to like play video games. I will admit I sometimes come off as that when I talk about Fortnite as well too. I'll admit to that in some
The
ways.
only way to play video games is on a Sibian.
But even so, the people who are play WoW and do like a lot of raids and stuff like that, even said that that guy Osmond and Gold, it sucks at like they're doing like the parsing of like raids and WoW as well too, and yet he claims to be like wants to claim to be an authoritarian person on like WoW play as well too. But he was always an asshole, which is unfortunately a lot of common nowadays amongst a lot of the big like gamers streamers as well too. A lot of them seem to be assholes as well too. I mean, PewDiePie's basically a Nazi or at least a fascist or like it's like a useful idiot for the Nazis and the fascists. Let's see, oh yeah, XQC was just like seems to be a giant dick as well too, because like of what I've heard and like and that's yeah was kind of part of the reason for me to like do at least some Twitch streaming as well too to like enter the gamer space is like listen, here I am, a non-binary person, and not all of us are dicks. Again, I may act a little differently when I play Fortnite, I'll be honest about that. But speaking of Fortnite, thankfully most of the times it's like seems pretty good, but yet there are those there's instances like I can understand why people do not have the microphones on at all, either to like speak in the microphone because they're trans or a woman, but like, hey, I sound like this because, of course, or be that like hearing the other players because like, yep, one time I was playing in Phil's and like, up, we just died off spawn. Oh well, and then oh god, you're just a bunch of like N words, and just right there, it's like, oh god. Or another time, just playing like reloads and duels and something like that. Oh, it was like, hey, and then the guy said, "Oh man, these are a bunch of like F word rhymes with maggots," and I go, "Please, dude, no, I'm queer myself." Oh, I'm sorry. And it, like, then he dropped the like F word again, or like maybe like the one rhymes with mags, and it's just like, why? Just like, and then one person was just like, hey, they said like. I said Bill no, the song got randomly brought up, and then said Bill Ma, and he just told a transphobic joke and then said the N word again, and then said the N word,
Ugh.
and says that he is black, and it's like, it's just, I thankfully now with Fortnite is that like you can report conversations. So it's like if you're in a voice call, you just hear you hear something like hear someone say the N word or hear someone say a transphobic joke. It's like at that time I did report the conversation as well. So you just hit a button and they'll record the report it for the last few minutes, and you can report players as well too. There was like one guy with like there was one guy I'd seen. It was like on like someone else's stream. He was watching like the replays as like that. Yeah, one someone had 1488 in his like name.
Hmm.
Oh, or like
Buddy, buddy.
or like some or someone said had only two it had two genders, just two genders, and with like the X instead of like E, and it's just like, oh, I know what that person's like saying. Um, what's one of the what about just like wanting to be out in the middle of nowhere and peaceful and quiet and letting them mind peace? I would like settle for that for like 2 weeks of that. I'm sorry, like here, like I'm catching up a chat. I'm just like trying to like figure out like what that's in connection to. Sorry for that. Campaign is like hardwood and bugs. I would like go like a farm house rent for like 2 weeks and exist. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. It's like being out in the middle of nowhere and no, it's something like that. Oh yeah, I have a they didn't always report like people to use racial slurs or like transphobic jokes. That time I did, and I reported it twice. So hopefully something's been done out of it. But like.
I pretty much always do on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, I sometimes go to like there was one time I know that like this person is just transphobic, so I did actually go through his like this is before Elon Musk took over Twitter, so like Twitter supposedly does have followed their like rules and regulations and like terms and services about like harassment or like transphobia and stuff like that. So I did like scroll through and find all this guy's like transphobic tweets and to like report them, and then I saw him weeks later complaining about he's being censored, and it's just like okay, fuck off. Uh, but yeah, that's gaming, that's life, and that's like things as well too. So yeah, I've heard of like Osmond and Gold. Like he said something about Palestinian people. I think he just kind of sort of tried to walk it back, but like no, it just sounds like almost eugenically bullshit as well too. Palestinian people are not really people or something to that
Yeah,
effect.
yeah, it's very like some of the most some of the most horrible things I've ever heard. I like I didn't like I mean I knew people never liked Muslims, I guess, but like I can't believe where did all this like Palestinian hate come from? What? Okay, I don't get it.
60 years of propaganda, 70, 80 years of propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
Pro-Israel, pro-Israel, pro-Israel. Therefore, anti-Palestine, anti-Palestine, anti-Palestine. And then, of course, 9/11 just made it that much worse.
Yeah, to like anyone who's like Arab or Muslim as well too. And some people even say Islamophobic is not racism. We're against a religion. A religion's not a race. It's like fuck off. And also
Well,
like
Lindsay Lohan was a Muslim and she's white. Well, Lindsay Lohan wanted to be a Muslim one time. Did you guys know that?
I can
No.
you can't convert
People,
because it's
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
I don't know that part of it, but I do know some people that did convert as well too. Actually, want to like learn more. They seek it out for themselves. Again, I will say this at least about like most of the people that practice like Islam and stuff like that. From what I can tell, they don't seem to like proselytize their like religion at all. They just like
You
if you
know, Christians do all the time, but no, I haven't had a Muslim ever come up to me and say, "Hey, have you accepted Muhammad?" It's like I've
do you
always
know
got
what the words of
to.
Allah? Yeah, no. It's just like if you want, if only those, well, again, only if you're born in it, only if you're indoctrinated, only if you're surrounded entirely by basically like Muslim and Islam people as well too, then like you just kind of like grow up with it, or you just, or maybe you can like you have to like seek it out for yourself to like you want to learn more if you want to learn more as well too. But yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm just like, where did all this hatred for Palestine come from? Like, okay,
This weird thing is like a hatred of the other or fear of the unknown as well too.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That,
I like to.
or if like you never met like a Muslim person or never met another brown skinned person as well too, or someone from the Middle East, as what's your education on like those people? Well, the movies, even before 9/11, but 9/11 did ramp up where it's just like Muslims are now terrorists and that's
I
the
mean,
typical
Muslims were terrorists before 9/11. Like the movie
exactly.
True Lies came out in like 96.
And even
Yes, exactly.
before 94, I'm the 90s expert, 94. But if you really want very first portrayal, watch Back to the Future. Isn't it like the Libyans or something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It,
But it probably
well,
goes back before that.
mhm,
Lawrence of Arabia. I mean, you can kind of trace it from that to some degree.
mhm.
The fact that the British kind of reneged on letting the letting the people over there govern their
Oh,
own
yeah.
land, and
Yep.
so you can trace it.
But
I mean, a lot of this just goes back to World War One. This whole
even
Middle.
before that, I mean, it's colonialism all the way down.
Yeah.
I mean, the Crusades. You got that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This, that's why I'm an atheist. This shit's stupid. This shit's dumb. I
Fucking
can't keep up with
Assyria in the
them.
late Bronze Age. I mean, it doesn't stop.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
yeah. I wish it was easy to just be able to like I don't know convince people otherwise, but like you just like don't know as well. Um,
Yeah, I'm always glad I never got indoctrinated by nothing by anything. I've always been like a free thinker and stuff like that. I've never been she never like I grew up in the church, but she never like necessarily forced me into anything.
mhm.
Neither did my dad. So I'm kind of happy I grew up with an open mind because I could have been like a homophobic jackass
Mhm.
or all kinds of stuff. So
I mean, I
mm,
self-identified as like Catholic until my 20s. It was not after the particularly the first like the news story about like the Catholic priests and like the CSA allegations and like evidence of that. It was kind of like more after the fact where they kind of like criticized a movie for depicting off screen though. It just have it as a plot line. It never showed the actual the CSA happening. But they kind of criticized the film for having that as a plot line as well too. And yet we know that like the Catholic Church was like critical. It had been like criticized for like our allegations. I wonder if they're gonna help is Hollywood be held for the same standard. And it's just like, wow, how fucking arrogant. And besides, it's like now if you're talking about like CSA cases or SA cases across Hollywood. Oh, there's a lot that's happened as well too. That's like should be investigated. But like if you're talking about just this movie that has as a plot line and it's again it's there, but it happens off screen. You never actually see the SA or CSA happen at all. Then it's just like, fuck you, Catholic Church. That's following when I broke with the Catholic Church as well. Yeah, I mean, you can, yeah, it's a good question of like why did I kept with the Catholic Church, knowing what I know about like the like Catholic priests allegations as well too. I don't know. It's just like I guess it's so hard to like let go with something that's like strangely comforting to you. I don't know why it was like comforting to like say I'm a Catholic as well too. Yeah, but well, my parents are still Catholic, so there's that.
That's unfortunate.
guess what movie I'm watching tonight?
Hmm?
I was saying, guess what movie I'm watching tonight?
Halloween.
Oh,
No, I'm gonna watch. No, well, no, I'm going to watch Star Trek 6.
that's one of my favorite ones, The Undiscovered Country.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna watch Beetlejuice probably Halloween night.
That's a is that the second Star Trek movie with like David Warner? And he was like it had a great role in that one too as well. So it's kind of yeah, I never like noticed that because I guess the makeup can help me convince that like oh yeah, that's the same actor that was in the other movies and like that, but he's a different character. But the makeup did help as well too. Um,
Yeah,
it,
and I'm gonna watch Beetlejuice Halloween night.
I have seen that movie when we that movie first came out and came to like VHS and like my family did like rented it as well too, and it seemed like a lot of fun at times, and I remember some scenes and as well too, but it's just been so long that like I think it's like worth for a rewatch as well too. If I ever or whenever or when however I get around to like finally like rewatching things if I do.
Yeah, yeah. I never was a really big horror Halloween movie person. I
Yeah,
don't know. Well, you
it's
gotta. Well, like I never really grew up having like a teenage, I guess, friendly, spooky kind of experience. So I never really connected with movies like that. Just like I never really connected with Mean Girls. I kind of just liked it because I had a huge crush on Lindsay Lohan. But
that yeah, that kind of makes sense.
yeah. So
Yeah, the horror movies. It's listen, just give me a good movie and I'll watch it. But it's like, and horror movies as a genre is something I'm not opposed to like watching or diving into or like watching, but it's just so as I'm indifferent to it. It's just not something that like I I'm a huge fan of as well too. And actually, kind of like seen a decent number of horror movies to like get some like the trivia questions like right as well too. But so one of my favorite movies, it happens to be a psychological thriller, so I guess it counts in horror as well too. Definitely like a slasher in some ways is definitely a slasher. This has some like brutal like kill scenes as well too. Perfect Blue. But it is because kind of like even though I've watched like Saturday morning cartoons that happen to be anime before, like Sailor Moon, Cardcaptors, some Dragon Ball Z, of course. Um, once I was like in high school, late high school as well too. My oldest brother kind of like found some like movies that like are the not kid stuff anime as well too. Yoshihashi Karaju's Ninja Scroll. Mamoru, she's like the Ghost in the Shell, and Satoshi Kon's Perfect Blue. All of which are actually three really good movies in their own respects as well too, but also had like tits and a lot of gore in it too. So like being like 18, I was like, yeah, anime's awesome. There's like blood and boobs in this like thing. But Perfect Blue happens to be still like an excellent movie in its own right as well too, and I think uh I wouldn't say one of the greatest movies of all times. No, that would be like hyping up way too much as well too. I really love it, but it's just like I think it's kind of like that's one of the few like horror movies I did enjoy, or like Assassination Nation. I did like really enjoy that one too. I watched it once. I would love to watch it again as well too. It's I can really appreciate a good. It's because I can appreciate a good movie in the genre like horror or like monster movies and accepting as the tropes as well too.
You know what my favorite action movie is?
Uh,
Mean Girls.
Nope, that's not an action movie.
uh,
Die Hard.
No,
No,
it's
see, it has to be 90s.
Terminator
Speed.
2.
No, it's Speed,
Yeah.
Speed.
not the drug, the movie. Do you guys think that bus could have made that jump, by the way?
I think the Mythbusters tested
No.
that, I think. Yeah, no.
Why not?
Buses don't jump. Buses aren't kangaroos.
Yeah, I didn't really see a ramp though. They built up speed. I mean, unless the highway was a bit incline, they could have done it. But I
but
mean,
but
I mean,
honestly,
it's an awesome scene. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love like the bus just like goes by itself and explodes when it hits the plane. Like '90s movies are awesome. I don't know. There's just something about them that just are just phenomenal.
I honestly think is that like because like computer graphics at the time has not gotten to the point where like directors and studios can reliably use it in order to just like well it's like safer and easier and cheaper in order to do it with like CGI and something like that. So a lot of movies have to like have it at sets, have like props and like or at least do like models and as well too like scale
Yeah.
down things in order to like do this sort of thing, this
Well,
visual effects.
they did use around like 10 buses to actually make that movie. They should have kept one in a museum, and I can like indulge my like fantasy of being on the bus that Keanu Reeves was driving around Los Angeles, and we can't go under 50 miles an hour or explode.
Mhm. Interesting, George.
That's the thing about holodecks. I'm waiting for like the holodeck where I can like put myself into Independence Day, running away from the fire. I want to do that so fucking bad.
Yeah. See if I,
Put
well, let's see if I
Put
can
yourself on the
find
roof of the White House and then you jump off.
Yeah.
Dude, it's jumping away from an explosion as well, like in the action movies, and then you're just gonna be like sheared on the back and like get hit with shrapnel, and then the shockwave.
Right. Or day after tomorrow, where we're running away from cold air.
Outrunning super cold as well too, or like in the Mummy True, trying to like outrun the sun as well too. Um, it's Witchboard on like YouTube. Okay, hey, now I guess one classic horror movie I want to see is like the original like a Wicker Man. No, again, no, like the remake Wicker Man with like Nicolas Cage is entertaining in his own right for his own reasons as well too. But like I want to see the original as well too because like even though I know the ending of it as well too, so it's kind of like the thing is like yeah the original was like super old, so it's like if anyone tells you the ending, it's just like well sorry, it's a really old movie. If you haven't seen it, that's like too bad. But now that I know the not the ending at that point. I wanted to see how that movie set itself up, and it's like, and I think that one still stands up of how like it sets everything up, and I want to see how it's done because like for some people, at least for me, I can still enjoy something even though I know like the beats or like the story parts that like happen as well too. And also quickly, Jojo P, yeah, you mentioned how a recent book that you read, this very scary book, and it took you a while to like calm down. I mean, that's an effective like now you can still not enjoy that experience that the book or the media made you feel. You can definitely that's a valid thing, which is why I understand people who don't like horror because like they don't want to be scared. And I can understand that point as well too. And that's why they don't enjoy it. And that's why they don't seek it out. They don't want to be scared, don't want to be frightened. I mean, my mom still cannot watch the movie Jaws as well too, for example. Um but like of a it's a book that had that effect on me. I was reading it and it's definitely horror. Was like Genocidal Organ. It was a Japanese book. It's been translated into English, and there's been a movie made about it. The movie, it's an anime movie. The movie has like cut out. I think the dream sequences the main character has that was like depicted in the book. Those were just visceral like feelings. So I remember me and Iki that just like really that it felt in my guts. But like yet still, if you watch Inner Side of Organ, it's still not a pleasant watch as well too because like it's special operatives in like USA America as well too. They kind of like figuring out like why these like genocide starts like happening around this world. They point to this like one guy who's kind of like a genocidal whisperer to like the dictators of those countries. Eventually, that's basically plot in the movie as well too. But there was actually a line is in the book and in the movie too, where the therapist is talking to the soldier, and the therapist says, "Well, now are you ready to go off and like start shooting children?" Because yes, that was the next scene. Those special operatives have to go into a compound that are manned by child soldiers. It was
Mhm.
not a pleasant viewing experience as well, too.
I mean, I don't think I've ever really had a movie that I've that I never that I don't really watch anymore because of what's. I mean, I did watch a movie with Steven Seagal in it a couple of days ago. It's where they terrorists hijack an airplane. Steven Seagal is in it.
Hmm.
I'm not really a big fan of Steven Seagal much now because he's like,
Yeah, he's just a piece of shit, Steven Seagal. Yeah.
eh. I mean, I well, so at the end of Godzilla 1998, there's, I mean, yeah, 1998, there's a Diddy song, and what I do is I just fast forward from the Diddy song right to David Bowie's "We Could Be Heroes."
That's still a good song as well, too. Yeah, yeah, P. Diddy. I have not even followed that case, but I just know that like, wow, he's on trial. He's like being like arrested, and he's like, wow, those are serious allegations against him. It's like, yeah, kind of like I'm just glad I was not like a big fan of his music. Just happened to not be a big fan of his music as well too. The only Steven Seagal movie I like is Under Siege, and that was like because of Tommy Lee Jones. See that? Yeah,
Yeah,
I like Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee Jones is always Tommy Lee Jones, no matter what.
I mean,
Like he
my favorite one of these Jones movies is Volcano.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Um,
Rest in peace, Anne Hesh. Love you, Anne Hesh.
I can only watch like a Mississippi Burning once and never watch it again. I don't other like others would say for like Graves of the Firefly, that is the best animated movie I never want to see again. Uh, Now, I remember how Nick Anderson kind of disliked the last frame of it or the ending of it, the very end, where it's like the main character he dies. Spoiler warning. Sorry, the two orphans like died because they're orphans in like World War II, like Japan, and but like the main character kind of like stares at the audience as well too, just directly breaking the fourth wall and stuff like that. And is Nick Anderson doesn't like that because it's like, why are you making me feel guilty about this as well too? But I think he would know this as well too. It's like, well, the intention of that scene is that like that's for the Japanese audience because to this day still Japan kind of like, oh, we weren't involved in World War II. And so like that's the reason one McGawkin, a guy who just like drew like a bunch of cartoons and comics for like kids as well too. He wrote like 4 volumes of a history book. He drew it in manga form as well too. Even has one of his characters showed up. Just try to imagine like Donald Duck somehow's in like the meetings with like FDR and like other presidents in like World War II and stuff like that as it happened. So that's the intent of that kind of scene. Hey, but he wrote a history book because like as Japan was hosting the Olympics in the 80s, Japan's like, World War II? What World War II? No, Japan was never involved in World War II. And the manga artists are like, motherfucker, I nearly starved there in that war. No, we did fought that war. You're not gonna like hide behind it like, oh no, we're not a part of the wars of that. And so he wrote 4 volumes of like his book.
I'm looking, I'm looking up why I'm listening to you guys talk about talk. I've been looking up like Speed the movie on Wikipedia, and apparently Michael Bay wanted to direct the movie. Can you imagine Can you imagine Speed directed by Michael Bay? What that would look like?
The bus would have exploded several times.
Yeah, yeah. And that would be like Bad Boys 2 or something like that. Yeah. It's like I haven't even seen those like movies, but yet when I watch Hot Fuzz, I still got those references. Oh, like the hand up things because
it's just automatic. Yeah. Actually, I once heard somebody talking about how a Japanese kid came to their school, like an exchange, they'd moved in or something like that. I don't know. And during history, they talked about World War II, and the kid broke down crying because he had never heard how they had attacked Pearl Harbor, before we'd entered the war. So Japan does the same thing we do, but towards themselves when it comes to history.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Michael Bay, he actually directed a movie called Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Did.
And it wasn't good.
No, it's not.
I
will say this for Zack Snyder. At least he is technically competent.
Yes. That's not saying much, but like, yes, he does at least know how to point a camera at a thing. It's like, Michael Bay just like when he's directing like an action scene and something like that. George Miller was really good in like Mad Max Fury Road because like for some of the action scenes that they will do, they will have on the camera basically kind of like a crosshair. They'll have like something over the camera physically, and with the crosshair in the center of the screen, so that way the cameraman would put the crosshair wherever the action is. So like when they're filming the scene, and they can edit out that like crosshair in like post, of course. And so when the cameraman's shooting that scene, he's puts the crosshair on where the action is. So when they do all the cuts, there's several sequences of cuts, the artists never have to take their focus off the center of the screen because that's where all the action is. Michael Bay does not understand that at all.
No, the action is just here. No, it's there. No, it's there. No, it's there. It's impossible to follow anything.
Although I will say, like when you're like stoned, it's like watching a Transformers movie. It's phenomenal.
I mean, I'm sure it's like phenomenal when you're watching it stoned because like kind of like how you can be discombobulated when trying to follow the action, those action sequences. Like you forget things until you watch it a second time. And some people seriously forgot that like didn't one of the Transformers just urinate on like a John Turturro? And it's like, no, that didn't happen. No, that didn't happen. No, that didn't happen. And then they watch it again. Oh my God, that did happen. And they see everything else that was wrong in that movie.
Like I mean, I know people like hate on Michael Bay, but I like I think my favorite movie of his is probably Armageddon. I like it's corny and cheesy, but like there's some stuff that I like about it. I do like the premise of the fact that it takes the ideal of the end of the ideal of this concept that something like this is happening, an asteroid's coming, and they have to get like the most ragtag, like there is something cute about it in a really, really bad way, but I mean, but like there's deep impact. So if you want to watch something realistic, there's deep impact to watch. So
you can watch a BBC documentary. As you know, I go on Reddit all the time while we're doing this, hoping to find communist news. and I never do.
Wait, hold on. Sorry. A BBC documentary narrated by what was his name?
David Attenborough.
Hunt. No, David Hunt.
Oh.
From Alien, right?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm
Anyway,
sorry.
I found
My
this. Confession time. It's what advice would you give this person? Confession time. I'm almost 49 and have zero retirement savings. No exaggeration. Absolutely nothing. Maybe about $900 in my checking account. No idea what the fuck I'm going to do, and I know I can't be the only one. It's this r/fluent in finance. What advice would you give this person? So you know exactly what my advice was.
Communism or rob bank?
Join the communist revolution.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's going to be pretty much my answer to all those things. You know what? It's I'm gonna like pose this as a question in the future, like sometime too. I kind of asked like a CMAC about like coming on to like this was just Alchemy about discussing like the upcoming election as well too. I don't think that's going to happen as well too because CMAC just he's a Iranian man. He's been living in America. I think he's just I'm not sure if he immigrated to like this country or like his family immigrated, but either way, he has like some family members in Iran, like cousins and stuff like that. And Israel is kind of like doing a proxy war with Iran right now, and yet
Israel's acting like Nazi Germany from like the late 30s. They're acting like Nazi Germany.
Yeah, well,
they're acting like us because
yes,
the Nazis were also acting like us.
Yes, but CMAC still says we have to vote for Kamala Harris. I know I just like in the very anti-electoral sometime, but I'm wondering if like what would it help not necessarily before the election but after the election, like us communists and anarchists conversing with a liberal directly about politics.
Not much. Sometimes depends on the liberal. It depends on how willing and able you are to sit down and try to parse through liberal bullshit.
Depends how open-minded they are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like last night in my car, I ended up with a very talkative Hotep. That was
God.
Yeah, fuck. And it was a 30-minute drive. Okay. First off, he was kind of a douche, apart from being a Hotep, because he was drinking, and I said, "Please don't drink." Yeah. And then he was vaping. I said, "Dude, don't vape."
Yeah, this is.
And then while we were talking, he was like, "Okay, so I saw these girls. Their skirts were shorter than their asses." I was like, "It's like okay." And it's like, I looked at them. My eyes were thirsty, but my soul was not.
Let me ask one. Hold on, John. Sorry to interrupt. Was he an old guy? No,
he's 32.
Oh, okay. Usually it'd be like, like, man, if I ever see.
No. He wasn't complaining. He was saying, I looked at them. My eyes were thirsty, but my soul wasn't.
Okay.
And he was talking about, okay, how do I turn a thought into a wife? How do I get a woman to be feminine, to submit to a man? Because a male needs to dominate to be a man. And I kept on trying to say, no, dude, you don't have to. And at one point, he climbed from the back seat over the console into the front seat and elbowed me in the back of the head. Just a complete asshole, completely impenetrable. I could not get through.
Well, John, I just want to say on behalf of African Americans, that guy is an asshole. He just not.
No. Like I said, I didn't say black man. I said Hotep. I was trying to be specific. It's just I mean, I can't remember the movie. There was a movie and a TV series. This is where I learned about Hoteps. A prestigious school that had both black and white students, and it focused on the black students. And but
how was the Patreon hangout? I couldn't make it. I was working.
Yeah, that was pretty good. You weren't there, John Brockman. You're never there. Yeah, you always sleep in at this time. Like you said, you were up until like 5 a.m. last night.
Was Kara there? Kara Hughes?
Kara was there, and she did tell her like scary stories and stuff like that, and people enjoy it. It was like pretty good. Not too much talk about like politics or the election or voting as we're too. And I say
we're all exhausted.
I just want the fucking thing to be over with.
Yeah, basically, it's like, let's get this over with. I've already I've already activated the emergency broadcast system. Let's just get this over with.
I'm still kind of like tempted to mention, and this is true, that like I did not vote for Kamala Harris.
Mhm.
I want to see like the kind of reaction as well too, like from Steve Shives as well too. That
And
I
what did
kind
he
of
say?
I didn't say anything. I was
Oh,
tempted to say,
okay.
hey, because like yeah, whatever the explanations I heard it before, there was
Dear
like
White
a
People.
it,
Dear White
it
People
was
was the name of the show I was thinking of.
oh yes, that one. That one also just like had the like reactionaries complaining too, because
Mhm.
like I think just from the title, honestly.
Mhm.
Yeah. But anyway, it's been like 90 minutes as well too. Or
Indeed, it
yeah,
has.
no. Yeah, we were on time as well too. So Isaiah Taylor, what do you have to promote as well too? Isaiah? Google
I think he stepped away.
Pixel. Oh, okay. Damn it. I guess I had to like wait for Isaiah to come back because I hate to end the show when Alexander like stepped away as well
He's
too.
working
Or
on not HMS but RMS, Cappadocia,
Yeah.
and
Although
there he is.
I've been, sorry, I throw something away. I've been working on a B-17 though,
Yeah,
so
nice.
I often switch my projects up.
Hmm.
that's good.
That's good. So yeah, so you can check all that out on from Zyterra on Galactic Cosplay Crafts on his Instagram as well too. Honestly, if anyone wants to contact like Isaiah Taylor, Instagram would be probably the best place, or on Facebook if you have me on Facebook as well too. I'm Summer Geek on like YouTube, on like Blue Sky, Threads, Tumblr, Twitter. Johnson's gone on Facebook if you want to find me. And then I'm on YouTube. I've been posting like a lot of videos up on YouTube because like after I read the like the Democratic Party platform, I decided to like edit them instead of just like have big long like 2 hours and 1 hour chunks. It's like, oh no, I did read the section on housing, I read the section on education, I read the section on like corporate greed. So I'll just take that section and make a new video. It's a way for me to make have a lot of videos to upload, so I have like a daily video to like upload as well too. Not putting up a video today because I'm going to stream, but like tomorrow I actually remembered. Wait a minute. Like I read like a article, a essay from Indigenous Action on like voting is not harm reduction, and I'm gonna upload that tomorrow. Kind of interested in to see if I get some any interesting comments as well too. So
How's Joey and all the other? How are they doing?
how's what doing?
Joey and Joey and the gang.
Uh, I think Joey's doing like a fine, and they occasion once they get like internet from like their adopted like sisters like place, they can like post things to like Facebook as well too, and then they can post their memes as well too. So it's like they have a housing situation, but Joey always needs money. Phoenix, I hope that like doing Phoenix is doing fine. Phoenix always needs money, and because like and again, when there's a concept of cost of living. I wish the concept of cost of living just doesn't exist at all. Just period. As well, no bills whatsoever. And yes, we can live in a world like that if we can imagine that as well too. And if you can't imagine that the world without bills, like that's on you then. Well, I
Okay,
wish I
John Lennon. John Lennon.
could. But like so Phoenix, Joy Fire Lame Deer, Joanna Roberts, they always need money. Nasaneko and Linquin are fine right now, but like I will give them money when I'm ready to as well too. And yeah, so but I also will be like streaming on Twitch after I get off this like call. Twitch and YouTube. I think I am gonna play Castlevania Classic Collection in order to follow the theme of like spooky games and like spooky season as well too. So I look forward to that. And John Brockman, you're part of another podcast, aren't you?
Indeed, Dungeons and Debacles. It's a D&D game. Heck of a lot of fun. Very different from this. I mean,
Now,
kind of the same because I'm there.
Kirok, I don't. Kirok, I want to get away from like reading from some time. I don't know when I'm going to do more reading streams in the future because like right now Sunday is the only stream I can like stream as well too, unless I decide to like come home early from work. And if I come home early from work, that's like 1 or 2 hours of like work overtime pay. I'm not getting for those 1 or 2 hours and as well too. And so most of the times, honestly, Kirok, most of the times I don't read. I used to like regularly do more reading streams as well too, but like me reading the Democratic Party platform was the rare thing as well too. So like no reading into the foreseeable future. And my next all the my Sunday streams of the next month is going to be like me playing Fortnite because it's going to be the Fortnite Chapter 2 OG season as well too. But anyway, so yeah. No reading stream today. And yeah, don't forget to practice self-care. Charitylinks.page if you have extra money to help out like
Happy
on
Halloween, everybody. What are we doing for Halloween?
not I don't have anything plans to do on Halloween. I'm just gonna
I'm
work and then come
sleeping.
home.
I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna go to like some friend's house and we're just gonna help pass out candy to the kids.
Yeah, and that's what my brother's gonna do. I'm just gonna be like working. That's probably
Yeah.
it. That's all.
Next month.
Hey, see you next month. Go
Bye bye,
everyone.
everybody. I'm gonna
Bye,
take a
guys.
nap.
Bye.
Love y'all.